Welcome back to another episode of Chaotic Harmony, episode 145. I am your host today, Jonathan Seligman, and today we are finally, after 2+ years or something like that, of us talking internally at least, we are finally having the game maker, the San Diego Tech Whiz, Mr. Aaron Keane. Hello, Aaron. How's it going, man?
I'm doing all right. I am enjoying a long weekend. San Diego Unified had a day off, but how are
Oh.
you doing?
I'm doing all right. I was telling you before we hit record, Mondays are always fun because I have my hardest class. And it's this is probably my hardest class since since pre-COVID. And so it's like
Yeah,
it's something. But you know what? It's first grade. We accept them as first graders. We'll see what
yeah.
happens as they
They're
grow
gonna
up.
be chaotic little gremlins.
Yeah, they are. But they've
It's
grown a
me on
lot.
Fridays. It's
Oh.
I have a 4 or 5 combo that I go
Mm.
to that I'm like bracing myself every time.
Just punch your butt
Please,
cheeks. Ah!
please.
No, I hear you there. But beyond that, there's a lot going on outside of work, prepping for levels coming up, and
Yes.
also other stuff in my personal life. But actually, you know what? Let's just a quick question. Like, so it's March. Before we get into the meetings, it's March. So, what are you currently working on with your kids? I'm just curious.
I am currently working on with fourth grade,
Mhm.
moving them towards staff notation. So we've done a lot of reading rhythms, and they seem pretty confident. They're enjoying reading rhythms. They're enjoying the games that we've done with that. But moving them towards actually reading like the notes on the staff,
Mm,
starting them with just like a couple lines, and then moving them towards more. And
okay.
then with fifth grade, continuing to get them towards more recorder notes, especially in addition to like getting them to know more articulation stuff that
Gotcha.
they was maybe beyond them before with singing, but now they're at the time where they're confident with what everything else they're doing. They can add that in. Um, but yeah, some classes are doing with it a few notes, and some classes are doing it with a lot of notes, and just meeting them where they're at. Yeah.
Exactly. That's cool. I feel like for me, like with this reading the staff, especially since I teach concert band,
Mhm.
that's always a challenge because or
Yeah.
clarinets. So that E is your me, which is also the saxophones. No, but not, wrong line. No, that was saxophone. You're looking.
Yeah.
I don't know why I chose concert band, but I
Band is tough. That's the one where I feel like I'd be okay. Like I have a viola playing background. It's my secondary instrument. Piano is my primary instrument. So I feel like I'd be okay if I was put in a different orchestra setting. I'd be happy to be in a choir setting. I've done choir stuff before. I'm doing just general music. But if I was put into band, I feel like I would be like I would have to spin around a few times to oh,
there's plenty of spinning. That's for sure.
yeah.
Well,
Maybe just my head, 360 on
uh-huh.
my
Going into the corner, spinning around with a little some tears going on.
yeah, just a pillow to scream into.
Well, that all said, this is not pillow harmony or whatever. This
Or
is this is chaotic
pillow.
harmony. This
That's a
shows where we
different
talk about the
podcast.
joys, struggles, and all things adjacent to elementary music. Um, Last week we had a lovely conversation. Mark and I had a good conversation where we talked about books, Burks, all the books that we're reading as of late, and how that helps us become more malleable and learned teachers. Next week we're still trying to figure that out. We're just like last week. We're in this weird season where everyone's doing too much, and so we're flying kind of by the seat of our pants. It'll be more organized come April, listeners. So cross your fingers, but go check the socials to see what's on the calendar soon. That all said, Aaron, so you are a San Diego Orf member. You've attended many chapters, but I feel like we didn't really not we. I didn't get to know you too well until levels, personally. And so for both the listeners and also for myself, like, so I'm still getting to know you. Do you mind sharing what we like to call our program notes? So you teach in San Diego, but for how many schools? And what grade levels? And how far spread are they? And how do you ever get lost going to varying schools? Or, all the works. So,
Yeah, so I teach there goes my dog.
I don't hear
Uh,
it, so we're good.
oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
I teach at 6 schools right now. In the past, I've taught at as many as like 9 schools, and all of the schools I see every week. Um, that said, I teach as many students a week as I've ever taught. I teach around 720 students a week. And all of them are graded as part of our program, so that's presents its own challenges. Um, with going from school to school, I'm lucky enough that this isn't my first year at any of my school sites this year. But I have had days where it's like it is Wednesday, right? I am going to the I do sometimes get worried that I'm gonna show up at the wrong school and
Has it
they'll be
ever
like,
happened
I
in the
haven't
past?
had it happen where I show up for the wrong day of the week.
Okay.
I have had it happen where I show up and they're like, "There's no school today. What are you doing?" I just
Okay.
show up to an empty parking lot. Uh, but at least that in that case, there's like no harm, no foul. I just
Sure.
extra try.
So you teach around 700 kids, so you're saying now 6 schools.
Yes, I
And
teach all the fourth and fifth graders at the schools I'm at.
gotcha. Because I know our listeners, if they've listened to us with Joan and Rodlin, like
Yes,
they're relatively familiar with that.
same program. Yeah,
Is your situation any different since you're at 6 instead of 8, or like what's that
it's
like?
so like I said, like I've been at more schools before. It's the main difference is that depending on what day of the week, may or may not switch off in the middle of the day. So that would be travel time is time that I'm able to actually spend teaching.
Hmm.
Um, but in terms of the actual teaching, the main difference between what I do and what Ronalyn or what Joan does is that I'm what's called an intro to music teacher, and they're full grade level teachers. So they're in a team of 2 or 3 teachers who teach band orchestra choir for 5th grade and then do general music for 4th grade. I am not on a team. It's just me going to all those schools and teaching all of the kids. I don't split up any of the classes. So in general, I'm not always, but I'm more likely to have very large class sizes. I have some
Okay.
like 36 or so student classes. Um, Shout out to Language Academy. But I and then it's the fact that it's general fourth and fifth. Also, our program doesn't get recorders. Like the district doesn't get us recorders for 4th grade, but they will get recorders for them. So we got to figure out other things to do. So they said it wasn't equitable or not equitable, not developmentally appropriate. Sorry.
Wait. Because you teach at, even though it's in the same grade level, right?
Yeah, they said it wasn't developmentally appropriate for 4th graders who are doing ITM classes to do recorder.
ITM
Intro to
being
music, what I
okay.
do.
Okay. Hmm.
My bad. It wasn't developmentally appropriate for them to do recorder, but it is for the other 4th graders because they might do band the next year.
Oh, okay.
Even though
So
it's like pretty standard for students to be doing recorder at that age. But it's mainly just because of budget cuts.
sure. In the end, let's be real here.
Yeah.
But okay, so you teach intro to music. Is that for both fourth and fifth, or do you have
Yes.
an ensemble? Okay, gotcha. Okay, so essentially you are general music for fourth
Yeah.
and fifth. Okay, gotcha,
Like,
gotcha. Um, Interesting. Okay, do you feel like when you taught at 9 schools, was that not that was like what Joan and Rodlin does? Yes.
no, I
Oh,
was still an ITM teacher, but at the time they hadn't spread the ITM program to include 4th grade. At the
okay.
time, ITM Intro to Music was kind of a band-aid where we only taught 5th grade classes or 5th grade students, really, and we didn't teach 4th graders. And only the 4th graders at schools with a team like Joan and Rodlin's that had full grade level music would get 4th grade music.
Mm.
But in the interest of being more equitable, now everyone has 4th and 5th grade music. Um, and that's part of why I have fewer schools now, even though I have more students than most of the other teachers, is because I teach all of the students at the
Right.
school.
Okay.
So
Whoever has to do the calculus, I bless their
eh,
heart, you know?
I would never
That's a lot.
be able to.
Sandy Unified, for those who don't know, it's a massive
Yeah.
district. And so, goodness, trying to find the way to get that all working is wild. So how long have you been teaching music for, Aaron?
This is my 5th year.
Okay.
I
Congratulations.
graduate. Thank you. I graduated from state in the COVID year.
Oh boy. So yeah. So wait. You graduated during COVID. So it means you did your
I
student
graduated
teaching?
2020.
Rip.
Yeah, it was one way to graduate.
Yeah. Um,
And then 20 my actual student teaching was all online.
okay. And you went where for university?
I went to San Diego State
Okay.
University.
Gotcha.
Uh, and then for I did this, also went to San Diego State for my credential year. Um, Went to in air quotes, I guess, because it's online. But I don't know what we're gonna do. Uh, yeah, the it was nice to I mean I started off in college at UC Santa Barbara, and then I
Mhm.
transferred to San Diego State because of my music education
Gotcha.
program.
Gotcha. Are you from the Santa Barbara area?
No, I'm from San Diego.
Oh, you just wanted
But I
to.
applied everywhere as a business major or the like. And in Santa Barbara, the major I applied for was economics and accounting. And I
Okay.
got in and I went to one econ class and I went back to my dorm and I went, why did I do this? Why am I gonna do this? How am I supposed to do this for the rest of my life? Uh, and then immediately started to like get out of that because I like to think I'm a bookish person. I liked school growing up, but
Hmm.
I do not like studying economics apparently.
That's a different beast. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
studying is one thing, but once you like the whole like going towards a trade profession for doing that stuff, that's not learning. That is, I mean, I don't know. I've never been in an economics
I mean,
class,
to be
but
fair, it
oof.
wasn't even like an upper level class. It was literally Econ 101. It was, or Econ 1, I think is literally what it was called. It was just the macroeconomics class.
Sure.
And I immediately was like looking around me and people were all right with it, which shocked me because I was like, how is anyone not looking at this and immediately just like brain off, not wanting to? Because that was my instinct. But yeah, so I got out of there.
So then, what brought you to music education? Like, how did you go from macroeconomics to music ed? Yeah, what brought you there?
Well, I had always been in a lot of like ensembles. Like back in high school, in my senior year, I was literally in every music ensemble that we had in my school. I played, even though I wasn't enrolled in choir, I played piano in choir. And in a previous year, I had been in choir. I played piano and viola in orchestra. I did percussion and band. I did marching band and pit. Even in theater, I like did the music in theater. Like I was spent all my time doing music stuff and was just so heavily like deeply invested in it. So it made sense that that was where I was going to end up. The only reason I had been hesitant was I'd always grown up hearing like you can't make a career out of this, like, and I'd grown up seeing classmates and friends who were better than me at music, who were doing better and were going off and playing these like incredible concerts and traveling for their performance or leaving school their senior year to focus on violin and all that stuff just led me to be like, okay, I like music, but I'm not that good.
Mm.
So I could never do it. So then when I got to the point where I was like, I do not want to do business at all. I when I thought about what I actively had an interest in, which isn't something I had thought about before so much as what could I actively stand doing. What I actively had an interest in was always going to be music. And with music, I immediately wanted to do education. I didn't really want to be a performer.
Hmm,
Because I always liked teaching. So I started looking into taking piano lessons and working on transferring.
that's cool. Huh. I feel like a couple things you said there kind of resonated with me. First off, actually, before I get to me, like, what high school did you go to? Because since
Scripps
we're both
Ranch.
San Diegans, say again?
Scripps Ranch High School.
One of those North County folk, huh?
The bougie one.
Yeah, because like for me, growing up, I was surrounded by amazing musicians,
Yeah.
phenomenal musicians. I went to SCPA, so like,
Oh yeah, definitely.
and so to our listeners, that's the San Diego School of Creative and Performing Arts. Even if you don't have never
Literally
been
focused
to,
on that at the school.
exactly. And so yeah, there was a lot of we talk a lot about imposter syndrome on this podcast, and that really
Yeah.
instilled in me like, no way am I going to be a performer. I did think that I was going to become a composer, and then once I left, universities, oh, this is scary. but
Can I have
yeah.
some health insurance, please?
My former roommate, he was so dedicated to the cause. He said, I'm gonna go and live in my car in LA. And like, it's like, oh my gosh, you have a desktop. Like, how is this gonna work, man? You don't even have a laptop. Like, how are you gonna write music out of your car? Like, bro, like, no. But it's yeah, that was
Like I admire the hustle, but I hate the hustle culture around it.
100%.
Like
100%.
I know a lot of people who do that sort of thing, or I have known people who do that sort of thing, and I just as much as I've felt burned out with teaching, like you're gonna burn yourself out so much if you literally are like, I'm not gonna give myself a place to live.
Mm,
I'm just going to only be invested in this. And if it doesn't work out, then that's all I was ever worth. You
right.
know?
Do you feel like the narrative was more towards performers or also educators as far as like not there wouldn't be enough money?
Oh, definitely like neither in
Neither.
my brain there was no money anyway. But at
Interesting.
least with music education there was like stability.
Some stability. So I guess for me then, because if did you grow up with elementary music? Because right now you are in elementary music.
Yeah. I
Was it
was
elementary music for you?
really, really lucky. So a lot of people in the San Diego area, or if you just know, or for Kodai, know Margie Orem and Debbie Burton.
Mm.
They were my elementary music teachers.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, so I
Oh.
had them from the time I was in kindergarten through fifth grade. I also had them for like the after school choir, fourth and fifth grade. So I was really lucky that I grew up with them. And then when I did practicum classes in music education for SCSU, and we started with elementary general music lessons and what those would look like, it was like, oh my God, flashbacks. It's like, I've done this before.
So
And
you
it just
were
felt like such a natural fit.
interesting because so you of all of the San Diegans actually got a very good elementary music foundation.
Yes, I got just crazy
Fascinating.
lucky where I had two co-teaching incredible music teachers who they just let it workshop. Sorry, my dog's
You're good.
Jules.
Oh, the good news we don't hear it on our end, so the Zoom compression is pretty nice.
Okay. She's gonna keep whining at me though, unless I hold her,
By
and
all
then he's
means.
gonna wait for his turn. All right. But with uh Miss Orm and Miss Burton from growing up, they were like even now, like watching them teach, it's like they have so much control and so much energy,
Mm,
where it's just like there's no even chance to get distracted. Like there's just so much to do at all
sure,
times that you're
sure.
just in
Mm.
it. And that's how it felt like growing up. There was never even a chance to get like off task because you're like always doing something. I
Uh,
really wish I could. I wish I had their energy. I don't know how they do it. Genuinely, like I
I
try to be energetic, but oof.
I have only witnessed them like teach you've seen obviously like not just from your childhood, but you've witnessed them
Yeah.
much more than I have. Um, yeah, they are phenomenal.
Yeah.
So then were you intending when you when you switched from um Econ 101 or Econ 109,
Yeah.
no thank you, to it's music education. Were you intending to be elementary music? Was it like high
I just knew I
school?
wanted to do music
Okay,
at that point. I didn't know really what opportunities there would be for music ed.
sure.
So I kind of wanted to just keep my options open. Uh, Also, like, I knew I would be transitioning in the next few years at that point. I hadn't transitioned, so I knew my voice would be changing, and I knew that would probably affect any like singing related classes. And I
Mm,
didn't know how well I'd be able to hold on to any of that or be
gotcha.
able to teach any of that. So I was just kind of music education in general in my head.
Gotcha. How was that like transitioning amidst your like a very important part of your life, like as you're
It
deciding?
was a lot. So in the semester where I like came out, because I was planning on waiting, but I was lucky that like hormones had a fast effect for me. I was literally like 3 days into the semester. I was taking 12 classes. I was doing my junior level jury. I was rushing Phi Mu Alpha, and I was coming out as trans all at the same time. So it was really just like, oh, why don't we just have everything happen at once? Just all the chaos. Um, so it wasn't like I wouldn't recommend it. But
You
it
wouldn't recommend doing all of that at once.
no, not all at
Yeah.
once. No.
Goodness.
not, not a great idea, you know. But with the as far as transitioning goes, like I knew I was gonna transition for a few years before I did.
Mhm.
And I was nervous about losing my singing voice because
Mhm.
I'd loved singing before that. I'd gone to like Interlochen and the camp, not the academy in Michigan, and like as a singer songwriter and gotten all these opportunities. But I and my voice has obviously changed.
Sure, sure.
But like I was worried that I wouldn't be able to like use my falsetto at all or, do any of those things or sing in a range where like kids could echo. And
Mm.
so those were the sort of immediate career concerns about it. But it ended up being one of those things where it's just like I had to practice actively because every day it was like, oh, that note wasn't there, and that note was there, but
Right.
now it's not. As of this morning, it's not.
Is it
I
so?
promised it was there when I was practicing for oral skills. But
Um, as someone who is not as aware, like, is it does your voice change that frequently, or it has it stabilized? Like, again, I don't know much,
yeah,
so
no, it's just like any other guy's puberty.
okay,
So
okay.
it's testosterone causes thickening with your vocal
Mhm.
cords. And because of my puberty being like medically onset, I guess, it was like very sudden, very like immediate.
Okay.
So I was doing the very like stereotypical trans guy thing of like taking like this is my voice 1 month on T. This is my voice 6 months on T. And there I wasn't sure at the time if I want to do a 4 week one or a 1 month one, so I did both.
Mhm.
And looking back now, the difference between it was only like 2 days apart. The difference between those 2 days is dramatic.
Oh,
Like, I couldn't. There was no way I was going to be able to hide like the difference in my voice. It
sure.
was a lot. So it's it's funny. It was kind of useful in some context because it's like, well, we're going to be teaching kids whose voices are changing. So I guess this is kind of a very self-aware, hands-on
Ah,
experience for like
fascinating.
methods classes. But
Sorry, my brain is like, oh, that I'm making connections I never did as far as like the whole puberty
Yeah,
elements. Like, oh, okay, that makes all right, gotcha. Um,
yeah. It's literally just a second puberty.
okay, gotcha. um, so now that you've been teaching for 5 years, like,
Mhm.
do you feel like now that you've become more not comfortable, but like this is like uh,
Yeah,
comfortable for lack of a better term in your voice? Like, do you feel like elementary is the space you want to be, or like is this
definitely.
definitely
Yeah.
what made that for
So
sure?
one of the things is like, I feel generally good about my singing voice, but my falsetto, I still recognize is not good. It sounds
Oh,
bad. And but the thing is, like, I still sing gently in my head voice.
okay.
I have more of a range than I did before, and that's a big
Oh,
help and a
okay.
big improvement. And like I'm able to like model. One of the things that's so freeing about it is I'm able to like show the kids like, see, my voice is cracking sometimes, or like, see, you can. I sound bad sometimes. Give yourself permission. Sound bad in order to get there. So it's been one of those things where it's been a surprising gift
Mhm.
that I didn't expect it necessarily to be. Especially like with the fourth and fifth graders I'm working with, where they're so, most of the kids I'm working with didn't have any music experience before fourth
Yeah.
and fifth
Hmm.
grade. And they, at that age, tend to be more self conscious,
For sure.
especially like boys, singing at that age, but any kid, just like the worry about being perceived for singing publicly in front of the people you grow up with. So being able to be like the goofy teacher who's singing in a silly sounding voice and being like, now you do it. That's been a good thing for my teaching.
I feel like, I mean, Crystal and I mentioned this on the podcast. I feel, and I've mentioned this actually recently. I forget who it was with, maybe Matthew. I think it's almost a prerequisite. If you're going to become an elementary music teacher, you need to be a goober.
Oh,
I,
100%.
it's like,
I saw something online. I think it might have been just a comment from someone. It was like, where they said, I feel like physical comedy is a prerequisite for good classroom management for elementary.
mm,
And for a lot of people, I think it has a lot to do with, like, for me, like, I've always felt like it's so great for teachers to have like a shtick. Like for me, it's like my kids know I love Avatar, The Last Airbender. And like it just like having those little things and being like a goof about it.
so how do you
Like
goof with Avatar? Curious.
so in every lesson I put up and I have the lesson plan and they like read through it and at the end of the lesson plan, like I have an animal. Because Avatar, The Last Airbender famously had lots of animal hybrids.
Hybrids,
And so I
except for
put
the
a
bear.
picture of what the animal is, and I have them, and even the kids who are like reticent to participate are always like, want to do it, like
Interesting.
100% of the time. I have them guess what the animal hybrid is. And then I switch to the next slide where I like have a clip where that animal was in it. And I have like some music related question. So last week it was like, which one of these dynamic things do you hear going on in the clip? And it was a scene with Zuko talking to the badger frog, practicing
Yeah.
a speech. And he's like, well, what's your answer? Um, the hello Zuko here, practice speech. Anyway, iconic. Western Air Temple episode. It's great.
That whole those couple we can learn out for a while, but those couple
Oh my god.
episodes, I recently showed my partner um Avatar, The Last Airbender. She never seen it
Wow.
before, and I feel
It's
like
so
I lost it more than she did just because of the build up. But like my first my first girlfriend to the moon. That's rough, buddy.
that's rough, buddy. Oh, there's so
Lost.
many. I have a bunch of Avatar stickers on my water bottle and on my laptop. Uh, a bunch of kids, like towards the beginning of the year, the fourth graders who are just meeting me will sometimes try to like test it, like to make sure that I'm like actually into Avatar: The Last Airbender. They'll be like, oh, so what episode does this happen? And I'll like say the episode or say the names of the characters, and they'll be like, oh, you
Oh,
actually enjoy this thing.
maybe it's not a facade. I
Exactly.
so that brings up a good point. I feel like it is easy to feel reticent, even for myself sometimes, to showcase elements of yourself because you don't want a kid to judge you. It's
Yeah.
like nothing like, having a sixth grader judge you is always like, oh, this feels awkward.
Brutal.
Secondly, I just feel like some people feel the need to be like water for their students, be neutral,
Yeah.
but
Let them fill in the space.
exactly. But it feels like for you, you lean into, I am a teacher, I have a persona. And you mentioned earlier, part of it's just so you could be a goober, but like, what else? Why do you think that's important?
'Cause I think if I'm gonna have them be willing to bring themselves to the table, I have to show them what that looks like.
Hmm.
And I have to be willing to be like, okay, this is, because music is ultimately just people. Music, more than anything, is just people. Like,
100%.
fundamentally, as cliche as it is. And to show, like, oh, it's just you bringing yourself to the table and expressing yourself in this way. Uh, I have to show what that looks like as a teacher, and also to like let them kind of give them permission to have fun a little bit in it.
Mm.
Otherwise, like a lot of them at some of my schools are like, I'm gonna be too cool. Yeah, I won't do this. A
Not for
game where
me.
you're jumping and telling other people what verb to use. Pizza, pizza, daddy o. You're saying daddy? Oh. But then they get into it and they're like, oh, they might say pizza, pizza, that's what it is. So being a goober, being silly is like kind of a fundamental part of getting them into it for me.
Yeah, and I like what you said though. Like, it's not just that, but music is people, and
Yeah.
I think I feel like it's easy for people to get their heads stuck too far into like just their own mindset of like, no, it is
Yeah,
music
the technique of
is essence, it's life, and like they get too
yeah.
philosophical. And but you know what? There's truth to that, but in the
Mhm.
end, it's if you just boil it down, it's people. I think it's
Yeah.
easier to approach it that way. I like that.
Yeah.
That's
I
cool.
mean, like good music, bad music, any sort of music, what people perceive as music is ultimately in their own head, in their own experience, based on the lives they're living. It's
Hmm.
just who you individually are. Like I know in university as music students, we start talking about like the Dada movement and like John Cage and all these people who like did these things where it's like, oh, but is it music or is it not? And then the debate always goes to, well, if you consider it music, sure, and if not, sure. Uh, so like ultimately, that's kind of where I started thinking of that from
Okay.
personally. It's just like it's just the people who are doing it who get to decide if it's music or not. And also, I had at UCSB, they have a really good ethnomusicology program.
Oh, do they? Oh, okay.
So I got to take like oud lessons for 2 years. That was really fun. Uh, and
Hmm.
like they have a really good gamelan ensemble. Uh, and so getting to see like, oh, the things we consider like so fundamental and basic to what music is are just completely different depending on where you are. And it means completely different things.
100%. Yeah.
So, like, and also like I I'm Portuguese. Uh, Going and saying like my grandfather. Like I didn't grow up with knowing him, but he played mandolin professionally,
Oh,
and he
cool.
wrote music for the like Point Loma brass quartet, which is like, or not quartet, Point Loma brass, which is just a bunch of Portuguese brass music. But like he was never taught to like read music or anything, and um, you know, he just kind of figured it out as he went. Like when I've gone to like the little town that my family is from, it's just a bunch of like people playing around on the street when they're doing music. It's nothing like formal, like when you're doing a classical music
100%.
major or doing those sort of concerts. So like removing the formality out of it, I think makes it a lot more approachable to a lot of people, especially because we teach kids from so many different places.
100%. Oh yeah. Yeah. For me, I grew up as a folk musician. Like my dad,
Yeah.
he traveled across the United States, sticking his
Oh
thumb
wow.
out and just like, I mean, it's not like for him, it was a very, very spiritual reason of him searching for
Mhm.
himself. But he went to
That's
Greenwich
very
Village.
folksy.
I mean, that's true. But like, going to
Sticking to the
Greenwich
brand.
Village and like just, being part of the folk scene post Bob Dylan, and
Yeah.
um, it's funny whenever I talk to other friends that are more in the university scene or were part of that, like say, "Oh, you grew up music different. You weren't like forced to do drills of like on piano, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
It's like that's not what music was for me. And I guess yeah, if you just boil it down to music is people, I think
Yeah.
that it
What you
gets to the
make
heart of
it.
what it is.
Yeah. I I had uh like the piano teachers. I started off with just a couple kids who were in high school doing lessons, and then I ended up switching to my teacher who I ended up keeping through all the rest of the time before until I graduated high school, Sherry Barham. And she herself wasn't like she didn't go to like university for piano playing. She started teaching herself at 16, and she had to stop eventually because she got carpal tunnel and she had to get surgery. Uh, but our lessons were so goofy and informal. And I think ultimately, if I hadn't had that, like with us, like, like shoving each other in the arm, like, no, I'm not going to do that. You do that. Like, or like that bickering and like goofy silliness. Uh, that ultimately draws so many people to places like marching band
Yeah.
or other ensembles too, that I think I wouldn't have necessarily been interested as a kid in like delving in further. And I wouldn't have felt as passionate about it because like you don't get invested in spaces where you don't have that emotional attachment.
100. I mean, I remember we talked about this on the other podcast, but I remember specifically a moment in my third year teaching. We had our middle school feeders come and talk to us, and like, what is something you want us to do for the students going to your programs? All of them said, teach them how to read music. It's like, yes, that's important. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
But if we are not instilling them in the joy and of in the fun and the connection,
yeah,
similar to you, I mentioned how like I mentioned similar to you, my voice teacher. A lot of our times we just talk about life and
yeah,
we put a pause, and that was what It's not what drew me to music, but it helped reinforce it. And so if we only focus
yeah,
on like let's read music, I think we're missing the point of what elementary, especially elementary music, is all about here.
yeah. It's like most there's a reason why kids are considered prodigies if they're doing those like super classical fancy things because most kids are not, and most people are not interested in sitting down for hours and hours and just doing the same things over and over without any sort of deeper connection. And by the way, kudos to teachers who can teach those things with those sort of with a with a connection with their students, because that's incredible.
Mhm.
I
To our audio
Jules
listeners.
has entered the chat.
Yeah.
But I as much as I enjoy private lessons teaching and those sort of things, I think ultimately the you know just letting people be people and
Mm.
expressing themselves through music is going to be what draws any kids into it. More kids into it, I should say.
Well, I guess for sake of time, because I had like a few big pieces that maybe we'll save for another time, but like I guess for sake of time, just to transition, like so fifth year teacher, not a
Mhm.
new teacher. You're not a new teacher, sir.
I've lost my shine.
You've lost. I mean,
I'm not new.
you've taken level two. Your level two credit. You would have been
Yeah.
level three if it wasn't for this goober here that hasn't gotten his act
No,
together.
if it wasn't for COVID, it would have
There's
happened.
other things as well, but yeah, like
Yeah.
you're not a new teacher, but you're young still, so sure. But is there a paradigm or rather, no, sorry, not paradigm. Is there an ethos? You kind of shared bits and pieces. Maybe we've already talked about it, but is there an ethos that when you go into the classroom, when you go in tomorrow into the classroom at one of your six class schools, what do you have an ethos? Like you say, hey, today, no matter what happens, I want to make sure my kids get this. Do you have an
I think
ethos?
ultimately it is the music is people and that they don't need to be intimidated by it. It's like there's no like that they don't need to be intimidated by doing music wrong.
Mm.
That they should be like do it wrong. Honestly, do it wrong and enjoy doing it wrong. Just goof and be silly, and you're gonna learn more doing that. I'd rather they like have fun and you know have that human connection uh, as they are in the process of doing things wrong, because in that process they will build upon it and learn to do things right and make those more solid connections, both academically, musically, and to their peers, which will feed into the music.
I love that. I love that. Aaron, I'm sorry that it's taken 9 years to have you on the podcast, even though we're only running this
9 years
podcast for six
ago,
years.
I was still in Santa Barbara, I think. So I think you're good on the 9 years.
I was waiting. I've been waiting for you to get out of that econ class to be a
You know
part of
that
this.
one student in a different county who I've never met before?
But we've all been waiting. But it's been a pleasure to have you here, and I'm sure we'll have you again. And since you're in San Diego, I'm sure hopefully we'll have you live also for an upcoming up, because especially since I really wanted to get into this San Diego Tech whiz. Like, you've done some really cool things with your lessons, but we'll chat about that another time.
Okay.
Um, Thank you so much for being a part of this. But to our listeners, don't leave yet. We've still got special batch and other stuff after the break.
Hey, we just want to take a quick moment to shout out Mission Trails Financial, the partner making this show possible at no cost to you. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by financial planning, you're not alone. But Mission Trails Financial is here to make things simpler. They offer tailored financial advice for you, from investments to tax and insurance planning, with a team of experienced fee-based advisors who are CFP designated and fiduciaries. That means they're putting your best interests first. Let's face it, navigating the world of finances can feel like drinking from a fire hose, with endless options for investments just a mouse click away. But Mission Trails Financial aims to cut through the noise by breaking things down into clear, actionable steps while providing regular updates. Mission Trails Financial believes everyone has the right to work with a financial advisor, regardless of how much you've saved. Mission Trails Financial's focus is building a relationship, so you are not traveling your financial path alone. They even help you keep track of old 401ks when you're transitioning between jobs, because your financial future should always stay on track, no matter what changes. So don't wait. Let Mission Trails Financial show you how to make that next step towards the future you've worked hard for. Plus, your first consultation is absolutely free. Just visit missiontrailsfinancial.com or call 619-419-0238 today. You'll be glad you did, because leaning on professionals like Mission Trails Financial is how we get ahead. Check out the program notes for more details. Advisory services offered through New Edge Advisors LLC, a registered investment advisor.
And we are back. But before we continue, a hard left turn. Thank you, everybody, so much for being a part of this episode and being a part of this journey. Whether you joined us in episode 0 or joined us today, thank you so much. It means a lot for you. A lot. Well, it means a lot. It means a lot for you to join us. I got words today. But if you want this journey to continue, support the things you love. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/chclassroom, where you can get special merch and other things for the class. As a reminder, our Patreon is revamped. January's printables are out, and March's newsletters should be out by the time this episode is aired. And also, you can get unedited episodes. All those things we just mentioned are for free. Well, not the principles, but everything else. However, if subscriptions are weird, I get it. You're a teacher. I'm a teacher. I get it. So if you love our work and you want to give a one-time donation, we do have a Buy Me a Coffee, buymeacoffee.com/chaotic harmony. If you donate there, you can give a shout out to someone, or you can also request a spiccato. But if you don't have a coin to toss our way, that's okay. There are free ways to support us, though. Leave a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. There are probably something like, I don't know, like Podcast Addicts. I think they have their own system. You can find us on YouTube, like, subscribe, 2026 style, whatever. Hit the bell. All these things make sure that the lights and mics stay on. So do the thing. Actually, I'm curious. Has anyone posted a new review? Because we do read our reviews if they are on Apple Podcasts. That's the only place that they upload
Let me just
text-based.
real quick write something really mean.
Dudes, y'all.
I'm gonna write you an email in real time.
Yeah, it's that person that put the 1 star. How dare you? How dare you?
I was just in a mood.
Was it you? Is it because you've been waiting for 9 years? That's what's going to Aaron?
Every day that I went without being on the podcast, I added another 1 star.
Oh gosh. So, Aaron, we're going to be doing our classic spiccato. That is where I have a series of questions, lightning round questions that you have to answer. Well, bam, like that. So, are you ready for this 8? So there are only 7 questions, and the 8th one you can take your time with, though. But
And my answers be the words wabam.
I don't know if I think that could fit for some of these.
Oh, all right.
Are you ready?
All right. I'm ready.
All right. So, what is the best
Wabam.
song written in the
Sorry,
past
go ahead.
100 years?
Oh God.
Don't mess up. Don't mess up.
That's way too big. My personal I'll go with my personal favorite.
Yeah, of
As my
course.
dog goes right into the camera. Which is Gabriel Kahane, Empire Liquor Mart.
Okay. Best, now going retro, quote unquote. Best piece written within 1500 to 1900.
Beethoven's Fifth. I don't know.
Okay. Then best is always, subjective. Everything's subjective. It's all people.
Yeah.
So your faves.
Can't be basic if I say that.
You can be basic. If that's your,
I mean, it is kind of a basic answer.
It is
Gosh,
basic.
I'm not being very lightning with these answers, am
You're
I?
not. You're kind of failing in that regards.
No.
You could just say the wonderful piece written by PDQ Bach called B Wabam, but
I'll just go with Beethoven.
okay. Beethoven's Fifth. Best soundtrack, best movie soundtrack.
I don't watch a lot of movies.
Okay. You can say Beethoven's Fifth.
The best movie soundtrack is Beethoven's movie, that he directed.
The 5th one. No, I meant the dog, Beethoven the dog. The 5th one.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it, but I'm sure it's really good.
Like that. Who wrote the music? I'm sure right now.
Probably like Hans Zimmer or something, right?
Was it? Let me check. It's a comedy. I've never.
I'll go with like Forrest Gump.
Adam Berry. Oh, Forrest Gump. Okay, cool.
Forrest Gump has a really good soundtrack.
Lovely. All right. Best video game soundtrack.
Video or video game?
Video game.
Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
So good.
It's so minimalist, nice.
Last one for soundtrack, TV.
You know my answer. Avatar: The Last.
I mean, it could have been Korra.
It was gonna be Avatar: The Last.
Okay. Name your most influential musician.
On me or in the world?
Your personal most influential musician.
Chris Steele.
Ooh, okay. Oh, that's a conversation for later. If you could be amazing at one instrument and that you aren't yet, what would it be?
Mandolin.
Okay. And this one we can slow down. We can slow down the speed. What is your music teacher hot take? Something in the music education world, or music, or it can be even broader education world. What is your hot take as a music teacher?
I don't know if this is a hot take,
Okay.
but it's something we're not doing in my district, so I'm gonna go for it.
Do it.
Grading is actually, I'm gonna say in general,
Okay.
grading at the elementary level is counterproductive.
Expound.
I think that grading, as in the form that it currently takes, I'll say for music, it becomes such an identity thing of I am good at this or I am not good at this in such a formative time that they then invest more or less of themselves into the subject where they otherwise are perfectly capable as individuals, and it's just a limited data set by which to judge them. And why are we're spending so much of our time and energy into grades where we could spend much more of our time and energy into actually connecting with and teaching them. I understand why they exist, but they're also not very accountable as a system because they're inconsistent systems between different teachers and between different schools and districts, where it just doesn't make much sense when you look at it. To me.
Yeah, that's a really good hot take. I know there are plenty of people that probably push back on that, but I feel like, I mean, my district actually does not require grading, but we do
Yeah.
newsletters instead. So if you want to join, Chula Vista Elementary School District, you know, you know, you know,
You know, you know.
but but no, that's a I think I have friends that are much more bigger proponents of assessments, but I the heart of what you're saying is very true.
Yeah.
I 100%
And
agree.
I am definitely a proponent of assessments. I
Mhm.
do lots of assessments.
The grading, yeah.
Yeah, it's the grading piece
Mm.
where as opposed to having the assessments where it's like, oh, okay, you did well on this activity. Gargantuan dog is coming towards you. Whereas, I can say, okay, we did an Among Us Rhythm Imposters game, and you got this many right. Or you did this well on the notation that you did for your composition. I think there's absolutely value in assessing that because otherwise they don't have that feedback individually, and they 100% students should have individualized feedback and assessments in my mind. But having the grade piece like boiling down, distilling all of these different aspects of what they're doing into a you get a 1, 2, 3, 4, which
No,
is literally how we grade in my district. That it feels very counterproductive and frustrating to me, especially when you see kids get discouraged or you see kids ask like, why didn't I get this, why didn't I get that? It's like, okay, well, this semester you didn't do it as well on this one thing, but that doesn't mean you're less capable as a musician.
right.
Maybe you just want to, maybe you just have in the past lean more towards composition than on the performance stuff we did this time. Or maybe, a million different things. Maybe you just had some personal stuff going on this time and you don't need to take this as a personal slight. Because it's truly not. But a lot of people will take it that way, and it's like, no, I truly don't have anything against you as an individual. I promise. I know you're capable, but and it's sad to see them internalize it that way.
Sure. No, I hear you there. Well, Aaron, thank you so much for being part of this episode. It's been,
Thank you.
I mean, first off, if people want to reach out to your hot take and like full on like give their
Yeah.
9-page essay on why they agree or disagree, where can they send a message to you? How can they send a message to you?
I have an Instagram, a
Mhm.
handle for which I need to check because I use it so often. It's aaron.plays.piano with a
Aaron
picture of me where I had more hair on my head and less
Well,
facial hair.
they won't know
I
because
will
it's so
say,
dark right now. So it's
yeah,
just
that's true. I'm trying. There's no rainbow glasses in frame. There we go.
There we go.
Uh, I will say also, I do want people's hot take on movement and technology. One of the things I've been working on for my master's is trying to bring together technology and movement. And that's something I focused on as a teacher for a long time, and I want to see how other people do it. So if anyone else has ideas on that, I'd love to.
Okay, and we will definitely place that in the in our story to see how people share their thoughts. But cool. Aaron.plays.piano, correct?
Yeah.
On the Instas. Cool. And you can find me at Mr. Seligman, MrSeligman on the socials, Instagram. I'm trying Threads more nowadays. Also, Stolen the Biskies, the Blue Skies, TikTok as well. And you can find us at CH Classroom to communicate to us and find all their stuff. Aaron, thank you so much. I'm glad we finally had this episode, and I'm hoping that we'll have you on more because you are an amazing person. And
we did it! The dog is cheering. I'm definitely not like, why are you holding me like that? What?
Well, until next time, everyone, thank you so much, and bye.
Thanks for having me. Bye. Ooh, now it's
Weird.
official.
It's a fish. You know, it's a boy. It's a girl. It's a fish.
Superman.
I forget who said it. It was like someone mentioned this a while back. It's like, you know, the first two people, like, why are you so excited? It's a bird. Yeah. Okay. Congratulations. It's a
Like,
plane.
you knew it was gonna be something.
It's gonna be something. Oh man. All right.
I mean, it should be more of the Frankenstein moment of it's alive, you know.